the last ember in the ancient land of Erindor, where mountains whispered secrets and rivers sang of forgotten eras, lived Kaleth, the last of the Emberkin, a race of fire wielders who once shaped the world's fate. Kaleth was no ordinary Emberkin. She was immortal, her life bound to the eternal flame, a mystical fire that burned in the heart of Mount Solace. For centuries she wandered, her auburn hair glowing faintly with embers, her eyes carrying the weight of countless farewells. 500 years ago, Kaleth fought alongside a band of heroes to defeat the Void King, a tyrant who sought to shroud Erindor in eternal darkness. There was Therion, the elven archer with laughter like wind chimes, Mira, the human mage whose wit outshone her spells, and Grun, the dwarven warrior whose heart was fiercer than his axe. They won, but at a cost. The eternal flame dimmed, and Kaleth's companions aged and faded, while she remained untouched by time. Grief became her shadow, but she buried it beneath a quiet resolve to honor their memory by protecting the world they saved. Now in a quieter age, Kaleth roamed alone, her purpose blurred. She avoided cities, where her unchanging face drew suspicion, and sought solace in forgotten places. One day, in a crumbling village nestled in the Frostbloom Valley, she met Lyrian, a young girl with wild curls and a spark in her eyes. Lyrian was an orphan scavenging to survive, yet she dreamed of adventure. She trailed Kaleth, pestering her with questions about the glowing embers that danced around her fingers. Reluctantly, Kaleth allowed the girl to follow, sensing a flicker of Mira's spirit in her. Their journey began when Lyrian found an ancient amulet buried in the village ruins, pulsing with a dark energy that reminded Kaleth of the Void King's power. The amulet's awakening stirred omens, skies bled crimson, and whispers of a rising darkness spread. Kaleth knew the eternal flame was weakening again, and with it her own strength. She resolved to return the amulet to Mount Solace to restore the flame. But the path was perilous and time was unkind. Lyrian insisted on joining her, and soon they were joined by Torin, a grizzled mercenary with a haunted past, and Silva, a shy forest sprite who spoke to trees. Together they faced trials that tested their bonds. In the Whispering Marshes they battled shadow wraiths that fed on fear, forcing Kaleth to confront her guilt over outliving her old companions. In the Crystal Canyons they outwitted a sorceress who sought the amulet's power, and Kaleth taught Lyrian to channel her own latent magic, a spark not unlike her own. As they neared Mount Solace, Kaleth's memories surfaced vividly. She recalled Therion's final smile, Mira's last spell, Grun's defiant roar. Each step felt like a farewell, yet her new companions filled the silence with their own stories. Torin spoke of redemption, Silva of hope, and Lyrian of a future where no one felt alone. Kaleth realized her immortality was not a curse but a bridge between past and present, carrying the light of those she'd lost. At Mount Solace they faced the amulet's guardian, a fragment of the Void King's will, reborn in shadow. The battle was fierce. Torin's blade clashed, Silva's vines ensnared, and Lyrian's newfound magic blazed. Kaleth poured her dwindling ember into the eternal flame, merging it with the amulet's darkness to restore balance. The shadow dissipated, and the flame roared anew, but Kaleth felt her immortality fade. She was mortal now, her life no longer bound to the flame. In the aftermath, Kaleth chose to stay with her companions, teaching Lyrian the firecraft of the Emberkin. As years passed, she aged gracefully, her hair streaked with silver, her heart lighter. She told stories of Therion, Mira, and Grun, weaving their legacy into Erindor's future. Lyrian, now a fire wielder herself, vowed to carry the embers forward. Kaleth's final days were spent under a starlit sky, surrounded by friends. She smiled, knowing the flame of memory burned eternal, passed from one heart to another, across the ages.